Welcome back to Melbourne Strength Cultures podcast, number 1 in the hearts, number 1 in the charts. Episode 24, we have a very...
25.
24? 25?
25.
We've got a very close to the heart. We've got a very close to the heart guest here today. Some call him FLEMING. Others call him the Roman sandal god.
Foot guy.
Most importantly, though, he's known as Jamie Buziotis' client.
Oh, get off it. I quit.
Ethan Fleming from GetGoing, the man, our daddy, the man that pays our bills.
Sugar daddy.
The sugar daddy.
Big papa to you.
Yeah. I should be sitting on your lap.
Yeah. Crazy. But yeah, we've got Ethan Fleming here, one of the owners, directors of GetGoing. A long-time client of Jamie B. We joke about it, but he's a big supporter of what we do here, and we're happy to have you on because you've got some fucked shit that we want to talk about.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about it. Client tenure, you've done well.
Yeah. Retention guy.
How did you come into strength culture? How'd you end up here?
So with like the company that I run, a few of the people that actually work there are obsessed with you guys for some weird reason.
Yep.
And I was pretty interested in having someone look after my strength program at the time when I was training for some burpee stuff.
Yep.
And one of the boys put me on to Buzz.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Guzman. Yeah, you were pretty buckled after your burpee.
Yeah, what was this burpee record? You did fucking 24 hours of burpees or some shit?
Yeah, so before I met Buzz and you guys, I just came off the back of a 24-hour burpee challenge where we continuously did burpees for 24 hours. So after that, I was...
Why?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Well,
so how this is a funny story, right? This is how this came about. So a friend of mine calls me and goes, I got an idea. We're going to do an hour of burpees. I said, fuck it. Let's make it 24.
Yeah.
And then 12 weeks later, there we were at Fed Square doing it.
So you did it at Fed Square. Did you have like news and stuff? You're obviously trying to break a world record.
Yeah, so we tried to break a Guinness World Record. Unfortunately, I measured the lines wrong. So I did 11,400 burpees, 1 centimeter short of the world record. Hey, I beat it by 1,000, but I missed it by a centimeter 11,000 times.
11,000 times.
Yeah, so that was a bit rough.
Guinness aren't about donations.
No, it was
Fucking dogs.
Yeah. It's
So
not good.
as if all right, we're big on dishing blame here. Who gets the blame for not measuring the fucking lines? Is it
Me,
you?
100%.
It wasn't the Guinness World Record person they brought out?
Too accountable.
Hey, it's that's
Not
it.
interested.
You know, I take all the blame. I give away all the credit.
When did they check it? They didn't check it at the start of the thing?
No, because Guinness World Record's all a bit of bullshit, to be honest. Like, in the sense that...
Call 'em out.
Oh, hang on.
Hey, I'm calling out Guinness World Records. No.
That's the snippet.
No, but it's like, I misunderstood to the line. Look, to the line? I was like, to the line. Not on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Simple as that.
Your line was too
So
thick.
it's the other side of the line.
So I had to put my foot on the line. I put it just before the line.
Fuck big records.
Yeah, so...
The big record industry can get bent.
Do they still make the book?
Yeah.
You in it?
Well, no, mate. They don't even put all the records in, let alone the ones that you didn't make.
Yeah.
So 24-hour burpee record, unsuccessful. What other? Because you got a 3-minute burpee record or something.
Yeah, this is what I like to say. I've got the non-Guinness World Record for something I'm proud of, and the Guinness World Record for something I didn't give a shit about.
Yeah, which was
3 minutes of burpees.
How many burpees did you do in 3 minutes?
69.
60. Oh, great.
Yeah,
crazy.
I stopped there. I had 30 seconds left. No,
Really?
nah, but yeah, I actually genuinely think it was 68. Now that I say it, but that's it. But that's where the burpees ended for me.
Yeah.
After that one.
Can I just say one thing?
What?
We can hear you breathing heaps because you can't regulate yourself breathing. So we somehow one of our I apologize.
You got a filthy rat come in and chew the cord.
Yeah, somebody has chewed. We don't know if it was Didier, it was Harry, Chili, or a filthy rat.
Filthy little rata.
Ratata. But yeah, you're breathing heavily into the.
There's long COVID.
You're breathing heavily into the mic.
Let's sit back and let's talk.
Just breathe in near the mic.
It's you and I. You and I.
we're heavy breathers.
Heavy breathers. Yeah.
It's a Cypriot thing.
It's all. It's everyone's like you got to breathe through your nose. Like, all right, done. But I got to fucking proper
Breathe through your
deviated
nose.
septum.
Breathe through your nose.
Yeah, same. This is a natural breath.
Do you cut this or is this just
No,
just stays?
We're heavy breathers.
Well, you got to do it silently. Apparently, you got to be able to breathe through your nose silently, and it's impossible at any rate.
No, you can't do it. You definitely can't.
That's on a good day.
That was better. Do that for the rest of the podcast.
There was a whistle. Yeah, but it feels so unnatural.
Yeah.
It's so soft.
All I can hear is you breathing.
I wanna
so
breathe
far.
like that.
Yeah.
No, you know those breath fucking strips? No amount of adhesive can sort my nose out. Have you seen another one that's a mute? Looks like a septum piercing.
Spreads
You
this.
put it in your nose and it pushes the fucking nostrils
Just go
out.
to Hormozy. He does
We need
the...
CPAPs.
Yeah.
CPAPs.
Yeah, well, I think that's next for me.
We're going 2XL t-shirts next to CPAPs.
Yeah.
When does the skull fat come in?
Never. Hopefully.
Never?
Never.
Oh, man, you just put that charcoal barbecue, so it's grilling season fucking year round now.
The skull fat's coming back.
All right, let's get back to the burpees. All right. So, yeah.
I was just gonna ask why burpees. What fucking?
Look, I never really had an attraction to running or long endurance events, right? Like your traditional long endurance events. But I love the idea of doing something really hard and difficult. And what's more hated than a burpee? There's not much.
So
know?
you went into the hate. Yeah, you like pick the thing that people hate, and
Yeah.
what do we call it? Double down.
You double
That's it.
down.
Double
yeah.
down on the hate.
Yeah, it was about finding something a little bit weird and just doing it for a ridiculous amount of time.
Yep.
So blending your movement with endurance. And that's kind of been my personal theme, I guess, since then. It's finding something a bit weird and quirky and doing it for a time period that you shouldn't do it for.
And just, going berserk with it. Because we'll get through the list of some of the absolute random things you've decided to do. Some things we've helped you with. Other things we've decided to just let you go on your way.
Yeah.
The
My
kayak.
favourite was the kayak.
The kayak. Can we unpack the kayak decision?
That was my favourite.
Hey, that was bad. that one was
bro.
not. That was not okay. Like normally, I do an event. I'm like, yeah, you got this. You know, I was out there. It was a bad weather day too. I don't know if you remember it, but it was like
It was our Christmas party.
it was.
Where were we? Yeah,
it
we
was-
were out somewhere.
I was there.
Yeah, it was nuts on the like. It didn't look like it, but out in the ocean, out in the grip, it was rough.
Yeah.
And the kayak flooded, and I was like, that's
And you're not a kayak guy, so
No, I've never been on one before.
Like,
Maybe
in
like
bad
grade
con-
6.
yeah, bad conditions out in the water. It's not
No,
ideal.
it was no good. I think I spent like 15 hours on it, and then the kayak sunk. I lost all my shit. I'm like, well, I'm fucking out of here.
Wait, can we just go back to this? What was the kayak event? What were we trying to achieve?
Sorry. I had an idea where I was going to stay on a kayak for 24 hours. I made it like I did a
just on the
marathon
water.
on it.
Yeah,
Like I did
yeah.
like 40 Ks.
Yeah.
And then
After never kayaking.
never
before.
kayaking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
literally, I think the only time I've gone kayaking is when you put on a helmet at school. And
School
like,
camp.
Yeah, school camp. And like the goal was simple: just stay on the kayak for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
And I didn't 15, but
Do you know what your initial goal was? The whole week, me and my brother, we were going back and forth.
The
thinking-
Louis Vuitton.
The Louis Vuitton Don. We were thinking, you're fucking off your head because he was supposed to film for you, but I think he was in Sydney.
yeah.
But it,
Sounds like something Donnie would be
yeah,
doing.
he was in
Yeah.
Sydney,
Yeah.
but he told you to do it. So
Last minute drop off too.
yeah,
He's
so
getting those-
last minute drop off. Do you know you got you substituted for him? I was the fucking vlogger that day.
Real Buzz Creative.
Real
specs.
Buzz Creative.
Yeah.
So I come down to the beach, St Kilda, with you. I film you going off, but actually no, it was the week before. You go, yeah, I'm going to go from this point to that point. I'm going to go from St Kilda, and I'm going to kayak to Portsea or
Hey,
something
no,
like
it was
that. or
even better. I
Queenscliff.
downloaded a Google Images photo, and all it had was fish.
Yeah,
So I'm going
yeah.
to go from salmon to barramundi.
Yeah, you didn't even know how
Yeah,
far
but do you know
it
what
was.
one of them was? The guy apparently he thought he was going to fucking bridge the gap between like Queenscliff
point.
and Sorrento.
Yeah.
Something on the kayak.
Yeah, the point.
Oh, do you know where I got
Across to
stuck?
Geelong,
I
pretty
went.
much.
I went from Port Melbourne, and I got down to like Sandy Pier or something,
Yeah,
and there was
yeah,
this. I couldn't even get around it. I kept getting washed back in.
Oh, where the dog beach is.
Yeah, something
yeah.
there. Like I was. It was rough.
The
Yeah,
text
so-
messages were like, "Have you even thought this through?"
So
Like in the
we
sliders?
were getting, because you were only like, what, 50 metres, 100 metres off the shore or something?
Yeah, I stayed close,
So you were
like-
in reception and we were getting updates. We were at our Christmas party and Donnie's like, oh, his kayak's just flooded. And then you'd lost everything. You lost your...
I lost everything. I lost
Yeah.
all my stuff. Like I packed 24 hours worth of gear. Yeah, so I had like food supplies. I was like, I'm gonna live on this kayak for 24 hours. And like literally one wave. I tried to be like a smart ass and like catch the wave a little bit, and I caught it, and it just
nosedived.
it just nosedived. Everything's gone. Headphones, phone. Can't use my phone.
Did you get back in or was that
No,
the
no.
end?
I tried one more time. So
Yeah.
I was like, it's all right. You know, you don't need a phone. I was like, fuck it. You know, you're the man. You got this. And then I got hit again. I was like, all right, I'm not doing this in the dark.
That's it.
Like,
So where did you finish? So you got off.
I don't know. I went about 30K one way, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to not go any further from home in case I need help, which is likely. So I just kept on doing like 5K loops. So maybe like past Hampton, Cheltenham. No, further. I don't, Mentone maybe. I think
You
it
had
was
no
Mentone.
phone. You have to go like payphone, kayak, and just.
No, I
fucking-
had, my phone was in like a suction cap thing.
Oh,
right?
okay,
But the
okay,
whole
yeah.
kayak was covered with water.
Yeah,
so you had to
yeah.
like funnel the water out to try and use your phone.
I think you were stranded in Hampton with a fucking kayak.
No, I got stranded further down. Yeah.
Wow.
There
So
is
the
a kayak. There's a guy that does that stuff. Youngbloods. I used to watch his YouTube channel in lockdown, but he's over in Perth. But he grew up on the water, so he does like 24-hour kayaks, spear fishes off there, lives off the kayak, or does a floating tent, lives in the tent for a 24-hour period. But I think he grew up on the water. So
Yeah.
he has the
Yeah,
experience.
he's good. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Well, I got a fishing kayak and took it out on the ocean.
Yeah. And sank
Was
it.
it a
Man, he
pedaling
made 30
kayak?
hours. If you got young bloods to do burpees for 24 hours, how do you reckon it would go?
Yeah, but I don't think
I don't even
it's
know
not his
his-
jam, mate. He just sticks to his.
I don't know who he is.
I forgot his name.
He's
He's got a big YouTube channel.
I think we should set
Millions
up
of
a
subscribers.
charity
yeah.
fight with him.
Let's get over to Perth.
Proper YouTube channel.
All right, so that was a failed one. We also did the carpool. Let's talk about the carpool. 100-kilometer Jeep carpool for 48 hours.
48.
Oh, it was 100 kilometers and it took 47 hours, or what did it take?
It took 48 hours and 30 minutes.
30 minutes. So what was this? You took a Jeep up and down, what airport was it?
Avalon
Airport in the midst of lockdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a rough training camp. So the original plan was I was really wanting to do an event, right? And I really wanted to raise money for charity. Those are the two things I knew. So I got out a whiteboard and I wrote down on the left side every movement I could think of. Burpees, carpool, kayak, whatever it was. And then I wrote down tons of different distances, days, times. And I just drew lines until I got, I like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you ended up with Jeep pull 100 kilometers.
Yeah, 2-ton car, 100 Ks, 48 hours.
Fucking hell.
Way more than Ross Edgley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100. Ross.
Way more.
Dog.
So what happened? We got to Avalon Airport and
So we started at 9 a.m. on a Wednesday and we finished just past 9 a.m. on a Friday.
did you sleep at all?
I had about 10 minutes for
Nice.
2 days. So I pretty much closed my eyes, woke up 10 minutes later to the boys saying, hey, the weather's good, we got to go.
Yeah.
And that was it. So it was, by the end of it, it was very, I was a different person. Like
Yeah.
you guys saw me, I think, halfway when I was in good
We
spirits.
came on the first
It
night.
was still early. I think you'd
Yeah.
done like 20K.
Charlie
Yeah.
struggled that day. Charlie was quite hungry.
Rumor has it Charlie's still recovering from what
Yeah.
happened.
He just wanted those fucking chips, mate.
You guys struggled just as much as I did. I was also playing up the struggling.
It's all for the
Yeah.
gag.
It's
No,
all
I
for
respect
YouTube.
that.
Really helping the guy that's actually pulling the car. Yeah.
I respect
It
that.
was good.
We
No,
got-
mate, he said to me after having us there, as soon as the next shift came on, spirits went down.
Hey, do you know what? Every time a new crew would come, the energy would get worse and worse. I started feeling guilty being
You
at my
needed
own
us.
event.
There more.
Yeah, you needed us.
Hey, you guys, because you came for the G up for 3 or 4 hours. These guys
No,
were there for
we didn't
15.
come for the G up. We came with the G
I
up.
could
We
sustain
were
G
the
up
G
for
up.
48 hours.
Yeah, we were the G up.
you
Don't
were.
insult me.
It was good.
Absolutely.
Having you guys come was
So what? You just to paint the picture. We've obviously got a YouTube video on this. We filmed one. You've also got one on your channel. But you're strapped in. You've got like this massive harness on you, and the car's just being pulled behind you.
Yeah, it was like so. I got these boys to help me out, putting some hooks on the front of the Jeep, and then I just went and bought one of those, strongman vests where
Yeah,
they
yep.
use that to drag a car or whatever, and I just tied the two together with some ropes, and that was it. And spent all the training doing it on a sled to try and mimic the movement, and that was literally just the training camp. Sled every day, pretty much all day, 3-4 hours blocks, multiple days per week.
Just at the park.
Literally just at the park around the corner from
Hours.
here. Yeah.
Kakarook.
Hours, man. Like,
The rugby union oval, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh,
the rugby
there,
oval,
yeah.
do you know what's crazy about
On
that
Keys
event
Road.
is like the thing that crushed me the most from the car event was the sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
Like the training, we did so much training for it that it just turned out the DOMs were fine. It was just sleep. Like there's only so long you can deprive yourself of sleep.
And how do you get through these? Because we'll keep rolling through these events because we're only just starting to scratch the surface. But how do you get through these events? What is going on in? Because I remember at the very start when we got there, you had already come to the term. This was only like 8 hours in. You're like, I'm either leaving in an ambulance or I'm finishing this. There's no other.
So I'll tell you,
And I'm just like, just stop. Like,
Yeah.
just fucking unhook yourself. And in my head, I'm like, you can literally, because I would just stop. I'm a bitch. But
We have different desires. Don't
How
put
do you-
yourself down.
Yeah,
sweetheart.
sorry, yeah. Internal dialogue.
That's it.
What is going through your head? How are you getting yourself through these fucking crazy?
I'm very big. I kind of have like a 3-stage thing that I go through with any challenge, right? The first one is self-exploration. And then the second one is self-education or training. And then the third one is application, right? So I'm very big that if you search within and you find these very, very, very deep whys, then the how becomes irrelevant.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so what's that quote? Any man who knows his why can bear any how.
Yeah, that's from Man's Search for Meaning.
Yeah, beautiful
That's-
book.
yeah,
Viktor
great
Frankl.
book. Very,
Frankl,
very good
yeah.
book. The concentration camp, death camp.
So I feel like like there's I have some little techniques, some little quick win things that I do. For example, like one of them is acceptance. So the second one is I don't talk about negativity, anything that's negative. So when Charlie's there telling you how hard it is, it really messes with your head. So like, honestly, so I won't bring people to the event that talk. Obviously, I'm just taking the piss. I love you, mate. But
Sort of that cheeseburger.
that's it. Just those the potato chips. I went to grab some later that night and they were missing.
They were gone. Needed that
You gave
sodium.
them to us. You gave them to us.
Yeah, to shut you up.
But in my defense, I wasn't talking about how
Hey,
hard
It's
it
hard
Hey,
to
you
talk
know
with a
what?
mouthful of chips, mate.
I feel like we need to explain something here to the audience, right? Yeah, I was dragging the car. You put that aside. These guys are still walking. They would have walked like 10, 20K.
was.
Like there was
4 hours
there was
straight.
4
Don't
hours
get me started
straight.
on how fucking
You
sore
poor
my feet were
bastards.
after that
We've
3 hours.
never.
I completely
Whenever
forgot.
you ever walked 4 hours straight in your life,
And it was
Yeah,
all
I think I ever
uphill.
have.
There was no downhill.
Yeah, it was a very weird
Fucking-
physics.
mate, the earth was like every time we turned direction, the hill would just go up again.
Hey, it was like a mirage. It was just like every time you get to the end, you're like, oh, only one more K of uphill.
And Macca's, you could see Macca's in the distance.
Yeah.
Mirage.
Absolutely. So yeah, you're going through these like exploration, education. Yeah,
That's it. Yeah, sorry. So I set the foundations really early on from like a desire point of view, and I try to attach the event to certain things about myself. So for example, my attachment would be, I wanted to find success as someone who gave it their all, someone who put 100% on the table and no matter what faced the resilience or the hardship that comes their way. So for me, it's like I don't get in my head as much because I'm there doing what I've set out to do, which is to give it my all.
Yeah.
So I try not to get too confused.
That's the reason you're there.
Yeah, I'm not there to.
yeah.
I'm not there to like break a record. I'm not there to do something hard. Like, yeah, they're all reasons and they're all things that add to it. But like, I'm there because I chose this, so I don't deserve to complain. I'm not allow myself to complain. Are there moments where I want to jump into the floor with my head to stop it? For sure. Like,
Yeah.
it gets hard, but like. That's where it comes back to that exploration. And then there's little tactics that you can use to kind of revisit that so the hard passes.
Yeah.
I think that's the
you can get
biggest thing.
through those moments.
It passes. And like the hard times will pass.
Because I even noticed when we were out there with you with the carpool, there might have been like a 3-minute thing where I would look at you and I'd be like, he's fucking in the gauntlet here. Like your mood or your energy had shifted. But then there was periods, like an hour might go past, and then it was like 20 minutes of you're up, you're joking about. Like obviously there's different reasons with like wind resistance and all that. There might have been easier periods and harder periods of the track, but there were definitely different. It wasn't always struggle.
So this is a big one, right? I'm really big on definitions. And the two things that I like to kind of separate is pain and suffering, right? Which you might have heard before, but pain is a sensation, a feeling. You have it in your knee, you have it in your ankles. You're going to get it when you have events.
Have it in your heart.
That's it. You have it in your heart. I've got a lot of that. But then suffering is what you attach to the pain. So like you're thinking, oh, I've only got 3 more reps left. Oh, I've got to do this. Oh, I'm so tired. That's a choice.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, without a doubt.
it is a choice, and you can separate that. So when I'm with you guys having a laugh, yeah, I'm in pain, but I'm not choosing to suffer. I chose this. What an idiot. Like, don't choose suffering on top of the pain. And the longer you do that, it's like anything, it becomes easier and easier and easier to a point that the suffering questions don't come in as much. And that's when I feel like you've hit this extra level of performance. It's like, it is what it is.
That's great and all, but let's
like
talk
that.
about some of the pain.
Oh, yeah, it's fucking horrible.
What
yeah.
what came after 100 kilometers? Where
Chafing in every angle possible crevice that you could imagine.
Chafing is brutal.
I think one of my favorite David Goggins things is where he's just done one of those fucking events and he's shit himself and he's like
in a bathtub.
he's like basking.
Hey, do you know what? The amount of times that I basically sawed myself on that track and not told anyone, like it was horrible.
I saw myself
Avalon
every squat
Airport.
session.
Yeah. It's you're bleeding. Like I had chafing around my rectum for I reckon at least 3 to 4 weeks. It was horrible.
Really?
I couldn't sit down.
Why were you pulling the car with your
Do you know
bum
what?
hole?
Just because like my legs were chafing. There was just so much chafing. Like if Jamie was a good coach, we were saying he was going to Vaseline me up, but
You need those Manscaped jocks.
yeah.
They're actually really good for chafing.
Need more inner ass conditioning.
Yeah.
I had also had this I had pimply rashes all around my chest because I was like wearing a vest for 2 days straight with sweat. So like
That's where you said you were worried about the chafing on your shoulder from
that
the
was
vest.
bad. Yeah,
That's yeah.
They all carried different. You do anything for an extended period of time, you're gonna have shit that goes wrong.
What was with the burpees? What'd you have on the burpees?
I don't. Oh, if you pull this up, Donnie, I had photos of my knuckles. I had literally lost all the skin on the top of my knuckles.
Because you were doing them on your fist.
On my fist,
Because
yeah.
it's shorter range or
Shorter
something. I remember you
range,
saying
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So every single knuckle was just
Red raw.
ruined, like open wound. Yeah,
You love it though.
yeah. Look,
you love like talking about pain stuff. You love it.
I
Deep
do.
down,
I
you're
do.
like,
Do you know what?
fuck,
I have a really.
You're a sick puppy.
I am a sick puppy. I do. I do really love it. I mean, like, this is the thing. There's all these tips and tricks, but at the end of the day, I just fucking love it. You know, like, I've learned some stuff, but, like, I am there because I'm like, this is where I want to be, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
The bike was pretty fucked.
Yeah,
though.
let's go another one. What was the bike?
All right. We got to set the table with a bike.
This is dumb. I'm gonna say it. This one was just dumb.
What do you mean? This one's one of my favorite ones.
This
Out
is
of
the
all of them.
dumbest one.
This one was zero prep. Like, the car trained for 9 months, Burpees 9
Kayak was
months.
zero prep too.
Yeah, but we failed at that one. We don't talk about that one. Sean.
Kayak was my favorite.
Yeah, that one's buried, like the kayak.
So the bike, you get a road bike.
So
Did you own a road bike?
I've got a good bike, right? All the gear, no idea, but I had the bike.
Tri-handles.
That's it. The tri-handles, very aggressive stance. But I came up, like, we were doing these little series where we'd do some hard events every week, and I was stressed. I was like, I got nothing this week. You know, all right, we're going to Adelaide. Yeah. And we're going to ride from Adelaide to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Off
no training.
Yeah, like I'm a fit guy. But I'm not.
He's up,
Hey,
Tiger.
he's
up.
Hey.
He's up, Turbo.
I'm Jamie's client. Yeah.
Hey, don't you forget it.
But
I made you.
yeah, no training, no prep. I went there. I bought a sleeping bag. I bought a little tent thing. I was literally had like a few gels, and I was like, I'm just gonna ride servo to servo until we get back. Took me about 3 days. That was honestly one of the most mentally challenging things I've ever done.
So you're out there by yourself?
Top, I reckon top 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the temptation to jump on a bus and quit was so... Like, I actually stayed at a bus stop, right? Like, so, like, everyone has their breaking point. I was 1.5 days in. I said, what the fuck am I doing here? No one's asked me to do this. I'm not raising any money. Like... I'm just literally, what am I doing? And you start to doubt yourself. So I was sitting at a bus stop waiting for the bus. The bus pulls up, just drives past me. I said, well, that's life. There's life.
There's your sign.
Back on the bike. I'm out in bloody fucking nowhere.
Shouts out Ventura.
Yeah.
Shouts out Ethan's gooch.
Yeah.
Copped it.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, how was your arse? in that seat?
So we got through the suffering. What was the pain on riding a bike from Adelaide to Melbourne with no training? Again, I'm going to say probably inner asshole conditioning, not
Well, this
there.
is the thing, man.
I've actually got some, probably can't post those ones, but that was red raw. Like, yeah, that was bad.
It's not up to the only
You know what?
fans.
The bum seems to be a regular occurrence in these events.
When Buzz and I started cycling in 2020, the first time I jumped back on the bike, my ass was, and we only went for a 2-hour ride or whatever, 90 minutes to it. My ass was fucked. So I can't even imagine what yours was.
You can't. So there was actually on the third day, my ass was so bad that I couldn't sit down, right? And I've got a really aggressive bike here. You need to sit down.
Yeah.
So as I would sit down, I would scream because I was like,
in the middle of the fairway.
No. I remember this. I was in the Grampians. I was going up these hills. I was like, you got to sit down, man. You got to sit down. I was like, come on. And there's like cars going past. And I was like, you know what? I got noise cancelling headphones. I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah. Just by yourself,
but
yelling at yourself.
And the other thing was the hands, like pushing on, just doing anything for that man.
Yeah,
time,
for 3 hours.
Anything
Yeah,
that's
3
got a
hours.
point of contact.
Even like on a 3-hour ride.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
hand starts to get numb.
the sides of my thumbs didn't come back for at least 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks. I couldn't feel the internal sides of my thumbs.
Oh, from like a sensation standpoint.
There was like a nerve that got damaged in my palms.
Yeah, it makes
And
sense.
this is why you train properly for things. It's because it is stupid in that sense.
If there's two things that if you're listening, that, I don't know, if you've never road cycled before,
Go to Adelaide.
bad enough on beach road. Like that's bad enough with cars. If you've driven to Adelaide, that drive is also fucked in terms of trucks and cars up your ass and whatever else. Both of those things together sounds fucking scary.
Do you know what I actually got pulled over on the second day from a cop, obviously, and he pulled me over and he goes, "What are you doing, mate?" I was like, "Oh, I didn't know it was illegal to ride here." He's like, "It's not. It's just fucking dangerous."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I was like, "But I can ride." And he's like, "Yeah, well, fuck off. Yeah, get out of here then. I got K's to get." But there was trucks like one of the nights, all my lights went out. I don't know if you've ever driven to Adelaide, but like it's pitch black, like pitch black. And trucks were going past me, and my lights were dead, and I was freaking out. Like I didn't know what to do.
Wow.
So I had like the iPhone light on my phone, and I would like wiggle it around in the air, like trying to show them, "Hey, I'm here," because the lights only lasted an hour or two. I didn't even realize. And
What?
trucks were going past me, like spraying their wipers, tooting, like. That was terrifying.
What? How'd you break the 3 days up? Like, what was the strategy from just like a time management?
I took some time off work.
No. Like the actual event.
No,
Like,
I'm getting there. Don't trust me here. I took some time off work. I took 3 days, and I was like, I know that it's 800 Ks. I was like, I know I can do like 250 a day.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ride. I'm just gonna go there and ride till I get back. That was it.
Just 250 a day.
250 a day.
Get up at 4.
I knew that I could ride 15 hours a day ish and be okay, which started to fade on the third day probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the strategy. It was like I just knew that I could get the distance, and I didn't want to put any time pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And I just took the time off work as a bit of a me thing, find myself out on the roads.
Spiritual
Exploration.
Yeah, and that was it.
Bit different as Sherbrooke Forest.
journey. Yeah.
All right. So let's go. You've come off the bike, and you're telling you got all these other little 1 day events you've done. You did a max air bike calorie challenge and vomited out the back here. What was that one?
And a tomato.
Oh, that was a small one.
Yeah, what was that one?
100 calories.
100 calories. What was your time? I reckon we got to get someone to try and beat it downstairs.
Okay, can I give him that time or my best time?
Your best time.
My best time is 4:53, 100 calories. If you beat it, I'll be very impressed.
On what bike though? The bike.
It has to be the assault bike. The
actual
assault
assault.
fitness.
Yeah.
None of not the rogue ones. They're harder as well.
I don't like the Rogue ones.
Nah, I like to feel
They're too smooth.
Yeah.
They've got like grit.
You
You
wanna
make the noise and shit. It's
100%.
mad.
You want to
Way
feel
better.
like Rocky Balboa when you're on that.
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
like,
The Rogue ones are too cushy. It's just real smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan.
It's good.
One of the funniest ones. He's fucking guy. Every time he calls me when he's doing something like this, it's like, "Hey, I'm doing this." I'm like, "All right. Like, what do you want me to say? Like,
Yeah.
do you think I'm going to say anything?" One of the funniest was the Ironman off no training.
Oh, yeah.
He just calls me on like a Wednesday. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm doing an Ironman on Friday." Any tips? I don't know. Fucking get water. Like I've got nothing for you.
It was when you did the carpool. I had people like being like to me, like, "What's wrong? Like, what's wrong with you?" Like, why? Is it? And I was like, honestly, don't even try and understand it. I was like, don't even try and rationalize it from your head because none of us fucking know why he wants to do it, but he just wants to do it. And I go, you can't convince him otherwise. He's just going to go and do this shit because he wants to do it.
The Ironman
Which I
one
respect.
was for the show, wasn't it? You were trying to
Yeah.
bolster your resume of fuck shit.
Literally. So I this you know what, I'm listening to him, I'm like, oh, this guy's pretty fucked up, eh?
I love you.
I applied for SAS Australia, right? And the lady called me. I got through all the stages, and then she was like, "I want to do this last interview where I want you to run me through challenges." And I was like, "Shit, man, I don't think I've got enough."
Yeah.
And this was like 6 days maybe before it. And I was like, "Shit, what can I do?" And I was like, "Fuck it, we're gonna do a full distance Ironman triathlon, in 3 days."
If anyone that doesn't know the distances, what is it? 3.2k swim.
3.9k
Open water. Open water swim.
I did
Open
it in the
water.
pool. Don't judge me.
That's all right.
Three-
Nah, that's
Hey,
fair enough.
Hey, 3.9k swim,
180k ride.
180 point something or 180k ride, and a marathon,
And a
42ks. Yeah, and I'm 5'9", 90 kilos. I'm not like a good runner at all. Like it
How long
was
did the marathon take you?
a long time, Joe. 5.5 hours, which is It's all right.
Again, no training.
What's the whole day? What was the whole day for you?
Don't know. A swim was quick. Like I came out of the gates with a swim, all right? Because you're in the pool, like. But the bike took me a long time.
It was a windy day, I remember
The
that.
bike should take like 6 to 7 hours. I think I was on there close to 9. And through the streets of Melbourne, I reckon I stopped at 100 and something traffic lights. Like
No rhythm.
no rhythm.
No.
Yeah, you couldn't just slam it down Beach Road.
Yeah.
Nah.
Even Beach Road's got lights.
Yeah, but like on those events, they just
Yeah, but you
close
can
Beach
run
Road.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just
You can
close them
run
down.
those.
You can run Beach Road lights.
Easy.
Always.
Really?
Yeah, you just run them.
Hey, I was a guy I know. Just bunches through 'em.
Just runs
I
through. 'em.
reckon your dad punches them.
Oh, without a doubt.
I've
And then
seen
Dad in the car complains about cyclists.
I've seen your
I'm like,
dad
mate, you are
clean
one of them.
someone up.
Your
Yeah,
dad does
before.
not stop at red lights.
Were you there when Rob Smith
at the
cleaned up the
velodrome?
kid at the velodrome?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh
In
man,
lockdown.
that velodrome at Murrumbina, Packer Park. There's just kids in the holidays. They just get in the middle with.
It was lockdown.
It was lockdown.
That's why everyone was
yeah,
cycling
that's right.
there.
But like kids with
It was
scooters.
smackdown.
Yeah, smackdown. They're in the centre. There's like a flat part in the centre, and they're on like scooters and fucking skateboards and shit. And one of them, like they veer out even slightly, like they're in the midst of it. And your dad and someone within his apartment complex, whatever,
Yeah.
is a fucking animal. Guy like rides 40 k's an hour, just cruising.
Oh, the guy
Cruising
in his
40K.
apartment, he's told me about that.
Yeah,
guy.
he's an animal. And Rob Smith is a good rider, man. Like, he's averaging 35k an hour rides, like just cruising for him. And his kid just like veers out just slightly out of the velodrome. And I see Dad just clean this kid up.
Clean him up.
And then the kid's crying. Your dad does not know what to do. Just like looks at him, gets back on his bike. Just
Keeps riding.
See you later.
Teach him a lesson.
Yeah, don't get off the velodrome.
Yeah.
Get off the velodrome.
Absolutely.
It's actually
Get off-
stupid though that
They put up a sign after that, I think.
the velodrome's dangerous.
Yeah, Dad took a photo with the sign.
Yeah.
He sent it to
You're
me.
going 40, 50 kilometres to get the cyclist.
There's
Well, you're not
some
meant, there's not
weapons
meant to
on
be
there.
kids on there. Yeah,
No,
it
it's-
actually says like no
It's
kids.
stupid.
Yeah, it's crazy. I want to go back to the very, very start of all of this, though. You talk about this like self exploration and finding your why and building that resilience and all those. When did the journey start, though? Were you always interested in these? Because I think my first experience with this was definitely David Goggins, like learning David Goggins and just his mentality of just. One of the ones was like learning to do these ultra marathons for him. He just like, how did I start? I just started running. Like that was literally like when did these challenges, when did they proliferate? When did they start? Why did they start?
Years ago, I've like when I was at school and stuff, I had a very bad attention span. Like I couldn't concentrate on anything. I was not a very educated guy, and I definitely didn't do well at school or pretty much anything besides. I kind of knew that I had one thing that I was good at, which is I could do things for long periods of time, no matter what, and kind of suffer through it. Right. So eventually that started off with work. Like I worked 3 jobs. I worked a lot of, all day, every day. And then I kind of took that and started applying that to fitness. And no matter what I kind of applied myself to, I may not be genetically there, or I may not be the best from a talent point of view, but I'm willing to literally, as I put it, eat shit for longer than anyone else.
Yep.
And I started seeing the results of that kind of come through. And I think that I became more and more obsessed with it. Like it just like, oh, what else can I do? What else can I do? And it became this like itch that I wanted to scratch. But the reason I come back to exploration is because I did this for a long time years ago with a business, and I chased all these things and I was still pretty unhappy from it. Like it just, I got these things and I was like, well, I don't want them. And that's why now I'm very big on exploration before application, because you're still going to be miserable chasing success. That means that's not your success, right? Like what you guys have done with Melbourne Strength Culture, it's like, it's true to you, but you've got to find that first. Otherwise you just changing stuff.
You're just chasing a carrot.
You're just chasing someone else's idea of perfection.
Yeah.
So the challenges for me is like what I just love to do. Like I love to just put myself through the ringer, to put it bluntly. Like,
Well, you've spoken quickly about it, but was the burpees the first full-blown event?
nah. Burpees was the first time I realized that I had the glass shatter and go, holy crap, like what else is possible?
Yeah.
Before that, I actually listened to Goggins' book, right?
Yeah.
I listened to his book and the classic story of Goggins, like I did a 1 mile race, 100 miles, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Well, I listened to that book and I've gone, holy crap, or the podcast. And I was like, holy crap, I can do more than I'm setting my mind to. So I went and ran a marathon a week later.
Wow.
And I just never done anything hard in my life besides, you know, training, general training. And I hit the marathon and did it in like 4.5 hours. And I was like, holy shit, like I've been holding this bar at this level for so long. And I've just gone and shattered my own beliefs in 2 seconds. What else am I holding back, you know?
Yeah.
And then this became like, I just want to raise my own perspective on what is possible. So the burpees was the next thing. Like,
the 24-hour burpees.
Yeah, the 24 hours. Like, is that possible? I don't know. And then I did it. And I was like, well, it is possible.
Oh, you didn't do it, but yeah.
Yeah, well, come on. I tried. And then the same thing for the car. It's like, I wanted, for the car event, it's like I wanted something I wasn't sure if I could do. That was really important to me. I wanted to know that I couldn't do it. Like, I wanted to have this little part of me that was like, you can't do that. And then, because breaking that is what filled my cup.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what else is there?
So that, with the car one, was that a world record? Was that recognised in the end?
Pending approval.
Pending approval. Yeah.
I've submitted all the evidence. I'm just waiting for them to go through the 400 videos.
Yeah. Because previous to that, I think it was Ross Edgley's. He did a
1-ton car, only 42 kilometers.
Yeah.
The current one is like 32 hours for 40 Ks. It's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still
So
impressive.
you
don't get me
just
wrong.
100%. But in the grand scheme of things, nothing on what you were able to do with the Jeep.
With the car, nah.
Yeah.
Did you ever contemplate a swimming event like Ross Edgley?
Nothing's off the cards,
Yeah.
but the thing I've learned about water from my experience is that it's dangerous. Mother Nature does not mess you around. So I think that there's
mercy.
I think the next one for me is whatever I do, I want it to be long enough that like 30, 40 days. You know, I don't want it to be you can push through it event. I want it to be an actual.
You were going to
adventure.
walk to Queensland or something
like
weren't
that.
you?
Yeah.
No chocolate for Lent.
No chocolate for Lent.
No chocolate for Lent.
Yeah. Have you ever fasted?
Have I ever fasted?
Yeah, from food.
Not out of choice.
Would you for just a mental challenge?
Oh, I've never thought about that.
No,
probably not. I like food.
You like food?
Yeah, I think it's got to be like real pain.
Because we did a little one. I did 36 hours or something. I got all hyped up when I went to Greg Lehman's seminar. And he's like, how our body overreacts because it's like as a defense mechanism. We're hungry, we're really hungry, so that we eat. But really, we can go 30, 40 days without eating. So I was like, I'm just gonna not eat, and I went 36 hours, day and a half, just to push myself and just to see. And I actually felt all right at the end. I was like,
I got a funny.
then you did it as well.
I got a funny story about that. I did it the same thing, and it was a Friday night, and I just started dating Laura, and it was at the point where we were making cheese boards, charcuteries all the time. Yeah. And then I was like, Laura, I'll set up a cheese board. And I just came off this 36-hour fast, and I fucking slammed so much cheese that I felt sick for about 6 hours afterwards.
I was to break it with fruit.
Yeah.
You definitely don't break it with cheese.
Cheese board. And Laura wasn't even over yet. And I was like, oh, sorry, I've eaten fucking all the cheese. As soon as I started eating, I just couldn't stop eating cheese. I just went hard on the cheese board.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Now I'm interested.
Yeah.
Do
No, I'm wondering because I just
In the
thought
fast or a cheese bender?
Both.
because like Aaron
I can
Curtis
see
used to
everything
do like
cheese.
the 7-day fast and stuff.
A lot of people do them.
He
Yeah,
also
like-
had a placenta.
Yeah, cap it, eat it, man.
No way. No way. What is next then? So the long one. You want to do a long... So what's your whiteboard looking like? 30,
It's
40
looking-
days?
Honestly, it's looking bare right now. I messed my body up pretty bad. Like some of these things have some consequences, as you could imagine. So
Now we're just bodybuilding.
right now I'm just trying to
Getting jacked.
Bodybuilder.
honestly, I'm just trying to fix a lot of my injuries and just take my time with it. But whatever's on there next,
Walking's easy.
I want something
40 days.
40 days
In those Roman
30
sandals.
plus 30 plus
In
days
the desert, like Jesus.
I reckon walk to Cairns.
No chocolate either,
Yeah.
man. It's Lent. You could be Jesus.
You could be
I could be
Jesus.
Jesus.
In the
yeah.
desert.
New age
Wait,
Jesus.
walk to Uluru.
All right. Why Uluru?
I don't know, just because in the desert. I was told because we could go coast or we could go inland and go fucking.
We.
You.
Hey, if you're coming, we're going to Uluru.
Just make sure he's got the chips, yeah?
We walked to Uluru, chips galore.
Hey, we'll be stopping at every
Just chips.
drive-through possible.
Yeah.
You guys got any chips?
Man, I love chips.
All right, let's change strat a little bit. You said you used to work a lot, and obviously you've actually, alongside all of these crazy mental and physical challenges / accomplishments, you've also built a killer business with some good old friends. But GetGoing, obviously, it's the guys that sponsored us for our Queensland trip. Thank you. it obviously went well enough for you to come down and accept our invite on the podcast. But what is GetGoing? Because it's a cool little. I say little, but it's quite large. But it's a cool business that you have developed.
Yeah.
Talk us through GetGoing.
So we're a mobile health and wellness company. That's how I like to put it.
Yep.
We essentially send trainers and dietitians out to customers' homes all across Australia, mostly across the East Coast. But what we do is we work with just real everyday people that want to change their health.
Yep.
Right. And personal trainer, dietitian, it's all an extension of that. But it's just people that want to change their health for the better, feel comfortable in their skin, feel confident. And what does that come from? Losing weight, strength training, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, all the
others.
Yeah.
All
Yeah. And it's something you started from uni, was it?
Uni. God, what's that?
Yeah,
I dropped out in year 10, mate. I left school at year 10, became a chippy. 3 years into the apprenticeship, I said, put the tools down. I don't want to do this anymore. Threw it all in the towel. Started doing PT. At the time, I was doing mobile cocktail bartending.
Shirts off?
Look, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah,
Charlie did some shirts off.
I dabbled in the hens nights. Yeah,
I didn't like it.
Charlie didn't like being objectified.
Piece of meat.
Piece of meat.
Yeah, it definitely teaches you some confidence. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
They like you.
I didn't like
all those chips. But then I as soon as I left that, I was like, mobile cocktail bartending. I want to do PT. I don't want really work for someone. I never wanted to work for someone.
Shirts off at the park.
Shirts off at the park. And, and then it just became this. Took the relentless drive with all the other stuff and just kind of blended it in. Like, I'm just going to keep working, get clients. I found because I was so diligent with my client acquisition process, I got heaps of clients. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to stop there.
Yep.
So I think it's just like a never wanting to stop, and then it turns into something. And I think that's how we all start. No one really comes with this like dream goal that something always develops and turns into something, right? Like you might start off wanting something small, but then you just want to keep perfecting it, keep growing it, like this constant hunger to improve. And then you look back in 4 to 5 years and you go,
Absolutely.
oh shit, like, wow, actually done some stuff
Holy
here.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like even now there's goals, but it's just like, what can I improve on? What can I perfect? How can I make someone's life better? How can I make this better? And then it improves.
Yeah. It's been cool to see because obviously we've been swerving, crossing paths along the journey a little bit. Like I think a lot of the Deacon guys ended up working with you when I was there and all that sort of stuff. And now obviously training with Buzz, but then sponsoring the podcast. It's just been cool to see and cool to watch it to grow and develop because it is most health and fitness sort of businesses. I think there's ceilings on what is possible, especially in Australia. I think the industry is new. I still classify it as new, but it's cool to see some really good opportunities growing and a business developing and thriving in health and fitness in Australia because there's not many that have lasted or stayed the course. So it's cool.
Yeah, there's this whole thing with health and fitness in Australia, which you probably agree is like there's so many people that are in there for the short-term result. Like they're in there to make quick money off business, and
It's
then
a young man's game.
They don't last, right? Like it's people that genuinely have an interest in their customers' lives, in their trainers or whatever it is, their coaches. They're the people that last. So I think if your intentions are right from the start, like you're not trying to build, the man shake, no offense, but sold for 400 million, by the way. That's why people build it.
Yep.
But if you're not going in there with the intention of doing something wrong, you're generally going to come out on top, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's it's amazing. It's cool to see. And thank you for the opportunity to sponsor us as well because I'm sure there'll be more.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to help us in Sydney?
Paid for my steak dinner.
Daddy?
Is the next one Sydney?
Sydney's in the next one.
Yeah. As long as Jamie wears a shirt that said I'm funded by Flem.
Yeah. Fleming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fleming.
Huh?
I'm not coming.
No,
You're not
we're
coming.
going to get you up for the Seb Orb day.
Oh, yeah, FIFO.
All right.
We're going to fly him in for one chat and fly him out again for Seb Orb.
Gotta get that Louis V bag for the airport.
Yeah, all right, man. We'll see how the sponsorship goes before dropping.
Or one gold tooth.
You know what? I'll do the gold tooth.
Just one. Just
Which
the
one?
cap. I don't know. I reckon this one, yeah.
The,
just what's it called? Incisor. Want a sharp one.
I've got no idea.
Like a wolf tooth. No dentist. If you're a dentist and you're listening, drop a
You
comment.
want a wink and it fucking sparkles.
Yeah, that one.
Little fucking
It's got to be off to the side. It can't be the front tooth.
a little gold tooth.
smile.
Ding.
Yeah.
And you could have like a little, every time you want a fat dumpy, just
Yeah. Ding.
and they get the little ding with a
Sparkle.
gold, with a golden sparkle.
You that
Absolutely.
sugar daddy? You gonna sort me out?
I got you.
Yeah, done.
I got you.
You got us covered,
Alright.
which
Got your back.
we love.
I want a pair of Earth Runners.
Yeah, let's talk about these fucking
Can you
Earth
buy me
Runners.
some Earth Runners. It's my sponsorship deal.
These shoes have changed my life.
Put it up.
Can you get them up? Get them up for the
Put it
camera.
up to the camera. Is that in frame?
Oh, yeah, I don't really want to show these to the camera, but
The sandals.
I got obsessed with like barefoot shoes like a couple of years ago, and then I took it too far.
Do 40
Yeah.
days in those in the desert.
These are look, we don't need to have a whole convo on barefoot shoes. But
No, let's get into it.
you want to get into it?
Oh, I'm into the functionality.
Hey, look, I had a lot of pains in my feet. I watched this show Shoespiracy, which you might have seen.
Shoespiracy.
Oh yeah, what? Yeah, that's right. Funded by Vivo. It's probably biased, but
Is it actually? Is
Hey, I'm not joking.
Netflix doco?
It's not a Netflix. Let's
What's it
not
on?
get
What was
carried
the
away.
fish
It's
one called?
YouTube.
Seaspiracy.
It was Cowspiracy. Cowspiracy as well.
Shoespiracy.
They're all just spiracy.
Everything's a conspiracy.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, shoes, clothes.
Oh, that's
Shoespiracy.
mad.
Wait, so where'd you see it if it wasn't on Netflix?
No. So like, I watched this huge. So it was going around, you know, like shoes are a waste of time and all this stuff. So I was like, I'll watch this little doco like Shoespiracy, and it just made so much sense to me. Like, I don't know if they converted me based off just like the inspiration behind it, but and then.
What were the points that got you over the
All right,
line?
well, you know, I'll just
Like,
sell
what-
it to you.
what was
right?
the
Like, when
marketing?
you think that when you were, you know, 400,000 years ago, we were wearing shoes or
Mate,
whatever
this is one
it
of
is.
Charlie's favorite. You weren't born. What's the
You weren't born with shoes.
Nah.
every time somebody says, "Oh, Charlie's got no shoes on," he says, "Yeah, well, you weren't born with shoes." Like
Me subjectively, when I'm coaching on the floor, so out there can be out on the floor a few hours, my feet get sore in shoes. When I don't wear shoes, they feel great. That's me subjectively. You guys can do what you want with
Look,
that information.
everything I have done is improved since I stopped wearing shoes. Like,
Really?
my jumping is improved. My stability in my ankles have improved. I don't get pains anymore in my feet. I don't get cramps. In fact, I've gone so far the other
Did
way
you make
now.
a documentary on this called Shoespiracy?
Shoespiracy.
Are you the
Yeah.
fucking front man?
What about
actually-
your tinea?
I'm
That
actually
improved?
that tinea.
Yeah.
That's got way worse.
Mine's better in bare feet.
Yeah.
Athlete's foot.
Tinea.
Way better. It's sweaty. The sweaty.
Hey, just you know what?
Breeds it.
Just rock it before you knock it.
So Shoespiracy got you across to no shoes. So you've improved your vertical jump, ankle stability.
Honestly,
Tinea is
everything is an all-time medium.
Yeah.
It's the shoes are great, but it's like your foot shouldn't be in a heel.
Yeah.
Like, why do you, I just
And the
it's like
shoe
wearing
industry.
gloves all day every day and being like, yeah, have you seen my
the
Nike
shoe
gloves
industry
that I wear every
create the problem, sell the solution.
Literally. I think the shoes have a place like anything. They're a tool, right? What's the guy who ran the fastest marathon ever, Kipchoge? Or
Yeah.
so he trains barefoot but ran in those Nike Zooms.
For
So
sponsorship, yeah.
I don't know. Apparently something to do with the shoes. But my
No,
point
they-
is
the
that
Alpha
they,
Fly.
they
They
put
had a-
fucking springs or something in
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
like
Yeah,
carbon
just-
fiber.
you roll forward in them.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's
The
the,
heel's so high.
if
You
a guy
just
like that's
walk
doing
faster.
Wait, he trains barefoot.
trains barefoot, or maybe in these Earth Runners, but the
You're not selling a solution with those, mate.
And even like if you go and look at all like those, there's a lot of soccer players that grow up in the South America, poverty. They play their whole life barefoot. They can't afford shoes, and then they're the ones that make it to the top.
And then Nike gives him a $200 million
Yeah,
contract
they're
for
making
4
shoes.
years.
But like,
and
yeah, and then they wear shoes.
all
and
of a sudden,
ruin it.
they've got cleats. Yeah.
You know what? Even to the point where you can go like into a flex position on your toes, and now that I haven't done it for a year, I can actually get right on my toes, like a little ballerina.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know how Goggins has the psoas, and he just blames the psoas for everything?
Yeah.
yeah,
Is your thing the shoes? Just going to blame the shoes?
I feel like, look, I'm biased here because they've changed my life. So the shoes are everything. If you know what, buy these shoes. They're going to make you successful.
Have you
Forget
heard
about
that?
how I did get going? Shoes.
Shoes. Have you heard that new testosterone hack? Do you eat sticks of butter?
Yeah. Huberman, isn't it?
Huberman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always sus on him.
I've never watched anything
Nah.
from him. He came out of nowhere real fast in my sort of sphere, but
I was always sus on him. A guy that makes a whole podcast about biohacks. I just can't trust you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't follow him.
And now it's the sticks of butter thing.
Yeah.
what's the sticks of butter thing?
Apparently just boosts your test.
It's the best.
Because I've only
test
listened
booster.
to 2 episodes. If I'm listening to his, I can't remember now. Dopamine, the dopamine episode,
Yeah.
and another one.
There's been a few.
gets a bit
like,
boring.
There's people that like they tear his fucking
Yeah.
not just tear it off work. Like they go through each claim.
Yeah,
They pull up and they actually read the research.
Oh, really?
And they just go like, that's wrong. That's wrong.
well,
That's wrong."
I'll be honest. awesome, does his thing. Like I can appreciate that, but 2 hours of just physiology in a podcast, I get super bored. I get really bored.
You lose me at sticks of butter.
Sticks of butter for test boosting.
I reckon you gain me at sticks of butter.
Yeah, Ella,
You reckon?
more butter.
That's good for boosting test.
Hey, if it works,
test.
eat the butter.
Eat the butter. I
Zinc.
think
Apparently zinc
what about it?
helps boost test.
Oh.
So pumpkin seeds.
What about alpha GPC?
What about test?
Yeah.
I've heard test boost test.
Yeah, why are we playing around the fringes?
Tribulus.
Get right in.
Yeah.
Tribulus. Isn't that the erection thing?
Tribulus
Nah,
was the
Tribulus is like the
the natural
legal-
test
the natural
booster.
test
The
booster.
natural test
Yeah.
booster.
no research again. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of
Viagra.
If we're gonna
Cialis.
if we're gonna jump
Cialis.
in, we jump right in.
Yeah.
Jump
Yeah,
in.
No
Don't
point
toe the
dabbling
water.
with butter.
butter in your coffee. That was another thing. What was the butter in the coffee?
Bulletproof coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, another seller solution.
That was huge. I remember training fat loss clients a couple of years ago, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm adding butter to my coffee to lose weight," and I'm like, something in that doesn't sit right."
Extra calories.
There's another big one is asshole sunning.
What's
it's sun
You
the
like
tank.
salute the sun.
Sun
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
testicles.
No, it's a
6%.
proper thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like up to the sun.
Asshole and testicles to the sun.
Yeah.
What does that do? Burn calories?
Test boost.
Must be
Oh,
something else.
test boost.
You can sell
Icy nuts?
anything as a test boost now.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking to just boost test. If that means just got to go salute the sun with my third eye,
Must
then
There's a lot of things that like, yeah, because like the sunning thing.
Sure, it's just not vitamin D.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. They might just feel better because they've actually made an effort now, 20 minutes every day to get in the sun. 'Cause some
maybe
people
we've got
don't-
more vitamin D receptors than
Maybe
your
it's like a
bumhole.
power pose thing.
Some
like-
people don't actually get any. Like, if you actually ask people, like, do you go out in the some people don't.
Yeah, it's
They
actually
get in the car,
crazy.
They get the office, they go home. So if you're making an effort to go out for 20 minutes every day in the sun, you might be feeling better from that. And not when we say the sun, go beach for 4 hours and get burnt to a crisp.
would
Like,
you
20
feel
minutes.
empowered or ashamed if you sunned your asshole?
I'm not saying some asshole.
No,
I'm not
but it's a
gonna sun
different.
my
No, but I'm
asshole.
just saying it's a different question.
Would I feel empowered or ashamed? I just don't.
I got a
wanna sun
feeling
my
that the
asshole.
sun's not going to
There's
be
a
able
lot
to
of
see
things
you.
I want to do.
Someone needs to sun their asshole the next week. Someone has to do it.
I don't want to sun my asshole. I just don't. It doesn't interest
Just
me.
do it as a challenge. 7-day asshole sunning.
Asshole challenge.
We'll get bloods before and bloods
bloods,
after.
yeah,
There's
maybe
gonna be
after.
bloods done.
There's a
We'll do a
guy on
podcast.
TikTok that does 30 days of different diets, and then he does a battery of tests or whatever. We should send it in. Can you do 30 days of sun in your
Sun your
butthole and
asshole.
let us know how it goes? It's actually really interesting.
Test
some of the
booster.
shit.
Rim sun.
He,
What other ones are there out there?
he got drunk for 30 days straight and see how his performance and everything went. Then he ate KFC every day for 30 days.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And then he went vegan for 30 days, and he had like huge like skin breakouts, and like it was actually quite
The
quite
KFC
crazy.
one sounds good. How did he go with the getting drunk for 30 days? Can I predict
He
performance
said that
dropped?
his performance was erratic. Some days he'd just start running and he'd fucking
Be all
cream like do really well, and then other days he was absolutely terrible, and like it was just like really erratic and but yeah, the vegan one ruined his skin apparently.
How did he
So,
go on KFC?
I can't remember exactly.
That's the
I'll
answer.
I'll do some research. and
That's
let
the
you know.
test booster.
Yeah,
KFC
KFC.
fried chicken boost test.
What are some other buckled fitness myths?
You'd see them all coming in
I
from
see
your.
mate, it's
Give us
every-
some-
Maybe
your
not
favourite.
anymore because you're not really directly related with clients.
This is a
but
good finish off. Give us your 3 most buckled fitness myths.
butter in the coffee's got to be one of the worst of all time.
Bullet
MCP.
coffee or whatever.
MCT.
Nah, I
yeah.
mean, we see a lot of like Herbalife, isogenics, all that
Oh, for
stuff.
sure, yeah.
Like that's pretty common. It's mostly like fat loss myths that we have to debunk. Like getting people to just eat healthy is what's difficult in the sense of like they're just like obsessed with the quick alternative.
Bread is the devil.
Yeah, like that's because like we're dealing with mid-30s population here would tend to be the no carbs,
Bread is
don't
the
like
devil.
strength training, like real kind of like 10 years ago stuff
Yeah.
that we don't see as much anymore.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the audience now that we have a bit of younger 20s, early 30s is a bit more open-minded to that. Where our audience is like they will see a piece of bread and like have to do the cross. Like it's that is no good to them. They won't eat anything from a carb point of view. Like even salmon, like some people just won't have salmon because they're like
It's too
the
fatty.
fat content because that was a big thing 10 years ago.
Salmon's crazy.
Potatoes.
Potatoes, yeah. If it's a white carbohydrate,
These
they
are all
won't
my
touch it.
staples.
Yeah, like a simple carb.
Yeah,
Gluten.
simple carbs. No, gluten's or yeah. I don't think they know what gluten is to be
Gluten's
honest.
a bit new age.
New age.
Yeah,
You would on your challenges that you were doing, you were slamming carbohydrates.
like 700 grams some
Yeah.
days. Yeah,
That's
I was
crazy.
doing like those carb shakes that you'd have.
Yep.
What are the
Yeah,
just-
dextrose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing like 3 or 4 scoops before and 3 or 4 scoops after
Jeez,
training.
man, that's a lot of powder. They're like 50-gram fucking.
Yeah, it's a lot of exercise.
That's huge.
Yeah, but it's a lot of exercise.
He's churning
Bro,
through energy.
That is like
disgusting.
one scoop of dextrose is sickly sweet.
Yeah, it's like 30, 40 grams of carbs in one scoop. But
I
I was doing
added
2 or
the
3
cordial
before and after.
So I put my dextrose usually in my smoothie with berries and shit. It's masks the flavor. But when I have to have it at night because I'm short or whatever, and I have 2 scoops, 100 grams of carbs with some whey, it's so sweet.
Yeah.
I gotta literally just, it's like a 10-second chug it down, done.
That one's all
way
right.
sickly sweet as it is.
Have you had the Vitago one?
No.
The real thick sludge stuff? Like,
No.
That like maltodextrin.
yeah, that's the maltodextrin stuff that like you
Complex
have it.
carb.
It is
Yeah.
thick.
Yeah, so I fucked up mixed maltodextrin with cordial once. And
No, you don't do that.
Oh, bro.
Too sweet.
No, it was. I put water. Like there's like abundance of water, but there was just this like clumps of sludge throughout it.
The texture would just be
Yeah,
like chat.
I tried to pin one back. I was like, oh fuck, I don't do it. It's carbs, brother. I don't want to go to waste. And I just spilt it out.
No good.
Spilt it.
Dextrose changed the game for me though. On
Dextrose.
bulking, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't like to eat a lot, so dextrose is just so much easy.
especially like food volume point of view, getting quality food with food volume.
It's hard.
It's hard.
So
Yeah,
I now
it's difficult.
prioritize food quality and then just liquid carbs.
Isn't that the loop
fill
we
in
all
the
go
gaps.
through, isn't it? Like we don't care about food quality, we just care about initially, and then we start to just do this 360 and come back to just food quality.
Like I'd rather construct a nice plate with some chicken breast, some rice, some vegetables, eat that, feel good, and then if I have to get extra
And then
carbs,
slam
in,
400 grams
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
liquid
so
carbs.
there's-
With
so-
cordial and butter.
Fucking oath. No, you got your bare minimum.
Bulletproof my cordial.
but you're hitting your bare minimums of you're like you're hitting your bare minimums though. Whereas I feel like before I used to not hit my bare minimums because it was just calorie.
Yeah. Or you eat so much, your stomach's so full, then you end up skipping a meal anyway. Like
Yeah.
it's
So-
100%.
There's definite
100%.
strategies with it.
What do
I
you-
think with
do-
micros, it's definitely I program my shit in my fitness pal. My
Smoothies.
bare minimums before, like that's the first thing, and then build my whole day around it.
But
Like it's
But even though in the fitness industry, right? Like, what are the things we always prioritize? Like protein, then carbs, right? Then we prioritize micros.
Yeah.
Is that right? Like, I mean, yeah, that produces a result, but I think that like micronutrients and eating healthy is still so far away from what we care about.
I think it's shifting now because it was the if it fits your macros. That was the thing. Like that was the thing because it went from like the transition in diet culture went from bodybuilder. So bodybuilder, meal template, chicken, rice, broccoli. And then even then, although you're eating veg, you're restricted to one certain pool of micronutrients and whatever. Then it went to if it fits your macros.
Donuts.
So
There's people posting
Yeah.
with donuts.
Donuts.
Fit my donut. Fit my
yeah,
fucking.
I get to have
Creams.
ice cream every day and lose weight.
yeah, double fucking hamburgers, double cheeseburger. And now it's swung around again and it's flexible dieting by way of an additive approach. So it's like we're not looking to take away the shit, but we're looking to add in the veggies and the
Yeah.
fruit and the whatever else, and it's micros first, and then maybe make it. It's shifted a lot. Like it's been that loop, and I do think it's changing again because if it fits your macros, like just fucking pound this fiber. It's like, bro, you ate 3 Quest bars. Like that's shit.
Yeah,
should
it's
not
like
be eating
25
that.
grams of
fiber
dietary
one,
fiber
like
in that.
Chasing fiber for the sake of fiber. It's like
it's
like
not good.
eat vegetables.
You shouldn't be chasing fiber through packets.
Yeah.
Like, just chase it through like Whole Foods.
Yeah, bananas.
Have
and
you ever
apples
eaten
and
3 Quest
broccoli.
bars?
Huh?
You ever eaten
Yeah, I used to
Quest
get the
bars?
cookies and cream one and chuck it in the microwave.
Yeah,
the chopped
mad.
chip.
Oh,
like,
man.
throw that with some ice cream, protein.
So funny story.
That's how you condition your asshole.
No. Are you ready? I almost got kicked out of home. And it was years ago. So I was like fight cut, all intuitive eating, and I've gone down from 100. I think I was like 83 in the
Lean.
space of like 3-4 months. It was when I first started training here.
Yeah, you're lean.
I was lean as. Anyway, I started getting hooked on those BSC, those protein bars. I forgot what they were. Oh, the cookies. They came out.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
the
yeah,
ones
yeah.
you're talking
They're
about.
like
They're the
the
best flavored ones.
Picture the packet.
I know the ones. They're great.
They're so good. Anyway, there was a sale at Woolies. And my thing when I used to work at Sandy is I'd always go, Woolies, get a protein bar. Hectic sale. So I bought 20 of them. And they were just there. And I'm like, they'll just supplement my fucking salad and thing, whatever it was. And then I reckon I banged down. Like I was so depleted. And I was
slamming 'em.
like my binge was on
you go to
healthy
the
food.
toilet?
Oh, bro, I reckon I ate about 14 in 2 days. and the house, not my room, not my room. Like this is what I was saying. I'll drop a couple if I keep going. It's like
The suburb.
no,
the
like
suburb was smashed.
the noises that were coming out of me, fucked. I've never passed gas like that ever,
Gastro.
ever. And then the smell, like you get used to the smell after. My mum, I reckon she came home and she's like, "What the fuck is that, Jamie?" She's like, "Get the fuck out of there!" Like pure anger, no fucking middle ground.
Oh, my mum,
Oh, cutting mum. I went through a fucking 15 protein bar binge.
I've got to fight.
I've got to fight. I reckon I've been in a
We've
fucking
got
circle
confirmation
for the
from
week.
Donnie that it was horrendous.
It was
Incredible.
So,
That's your new challenge. Eat 14 BSC bars.
No, how many Quest bars can you do in 24 hours?
Jeez, they're dry. Like that
Oh,
would
they're
be.
so
You know
cheap
what?
bars. The BSC ones are actually off the head.
The BSC
Like,
ones
they're
are great. They are. The Quest ones are like chewy and
15
dry.
grams of fiber.
Yeah, but I don't think it's real fiber. It's there's something to do with the way you can package certain sugars and they classify as fiber. It's not actual fiber. It's like dodgy fiber.
Love a shifty.
Dodgies make
Yeah,
the
you
world
see
go
it
round.
under there. There's like two. They've got two different things.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
it's not normal. I remember Dean McKillop had a thing because Halo Top has the same. Halo Top
Yeah.
has the same way of navigating total calories through this loophole that you don't have to count, and
Don't count
and it somehow I don't know exactly what it is.
Apparently in America as well. This could be untrue, but the dietary fiber, a lot of it sits closer to a carbohydrate, so they would include it in.
Yeah.
Like-
There's definitely some loopholes from packaging
Dogs, man.
that might impact that.
Halo
But,
Top sucks, by the way.
Yeah, shit
It's
house.
just
Shocking.
if we're gonna shit on
I
one product
can eat it.
today, Halo Top, fuck you.
Oh, actually, no, I have the other one. When
Nah.
I'm cutting, I just get this, like, I just want to pound something.
Light and creamy, man.
Light cream is good.
They discontinued cookies and cream.
Yeah.
Actually, another call out. Peter's light and creamy. Bring back cookies and cream, you fucking idiots.
What's with these companies taking away mad products? We've got Guzman with
Take it back,
Barramundi.
mate. They
Mate,
took
Guzmani
steak as
just
well.
got. Did you see what Guzmani just got? Somebody that bought 11%, had a 36% return, sold it for like $140 million, but the company of Guzmani is worth $1.2 billion. The latest Australian unicorn, privately owned unicorn.
That's crazy.
$1.2 billion on bloody
They-
tacos and
No wonder
burritos.
Stephen
man.
Honestly,
G. Y,
though,
I think they know what they're doing, pulling Barramundi off the thing, boys.
They
Someone better let Didier know.
They good on them, massive company. They're doing well. They are good. They're good. It's a good fast food option. Just the consistency sometimes lets you down.
Lets him down.
Just you get it, and
That's
it's
why you
mad,
go
and
to
the next
Macca's.
time it's just a bit different.
Respect the chef.
That's
yeah.
what Macca's has got
Just
going.
like, and they got a lot of like 17-year-old kids working there.
Man.
Obviously, don't care about their job.
The
and
one in
it's just-
Hawthorne, Glenferrie Road, I swear all the staff members were like 25.
Yeah, that's what you need.
And
They
the
have
best
passion.
was money I've ever had. Passion and quality control. That's
Respect
it.
the chef.
They care about fucking. But yeah, Macca's is just consistent.
Bang on.
I've
every
eaten some
time.
shit Macca's.
Oh, I've definitely had some shit Macca's,
Look,
but it's
when you
Macca's,
get shit
doesn't matter.
chips, it really lets you down. You want crispy out of the thing. Fucking, oh.
Yeah, have you ever been one of those guys that asks for fresh chips?
Never.
I don't think I've ever hung around with you guys and we haven't brought up Macca's
Yeah.
once.
Hey,
you wanna get
and
Macca's?
We're
I've
sick
hung
in the
around
head.
with you guys a few times.
Yeah,
too.
we're sick in the head.
hey, health and fitness, brother.
No, actually, that's right. Because after we did the pull in
Oh, we
Bunnings,
did that
we went and got
practice
bacon egg
training
with
session.
muffins.
I know.
Oh, we nailed
Yeah,
Macca's
and then
after
we were
that.
doing-
That was the start of Hectic Eats.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
filmed us eating Macca's on the bonnet of the Hyundai.
The next one we're going to do is Hectic Eats at my house. We're doing charcoal grilling.
Oh, you're going to cook something?
We'll do charcoal.
Yeah, done.
Charcoal.
We went last night. We were playing Greek music. It was mad.
All right. Yeah.
I bought a charcoal barbecue yesterday. I wanted a charcoal
Can you
barbecue.
cook us a chicken?
I can do whatever the fuck you want.
We'll do it. Let's lock
I'm
it
learning.
in. Let's lock it in. That will be a Hectic Eats.
Hectic
Ethan, you're
Eats.
invited. Come to the Hectic Eats
See you
Bomb
in
Beach.
Bomb
We'll
Beach.
fucking do it in my driveway with Greek music.
But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. That was good fun. We'll keep an eye out for your next couple challenges. Also, if you're a personal trainer or dietitian, www.getgoingpt.com.au/careers. And jump on there if you're interested, because it's a cool company and it's there's a lot of opportunities to grow and develop within there for a career. Not to take your own lightning and thunder, but it's a good place to learn and grow and develop. We're done.
Cheers, boys.
That's all.
Ciao.